Hello and welcome. My name is Biagio Mazza, Pastoral Associate here at St. Sabina Parish in Belton, Missouri, and I'm here to welcome you to another Do You Know series. Today's question for Do You Know is, do you know why oil is an important baptismal symbol as well as a key focus of the Easter season? One of the reasons why oil is so important is because, as we know in everyday life, oil makes things run smoothly. When used on the body, oil limbers the muscles and loosens them up. Oil is used for strengthening parts of the body, especially in muscles and joints and so on. As a matter of fact, in the Roman gladiators in the arena would actually use oil for several reasons. One was to limber up the muscles, but the other one was to make them slippery in case they got caught with their opponents and so on. So historically, if we look at oil has been used in a variety of ways. One of the primary functions of oil was to use as healing agent. It was used to put on wounds and had healing properties. It's still being used that way today in many cases. In our biblical tradition, for example, oil was used for anointing. They would anoint various people for various roles. In the Old Testament tradition especially, we have priests, prophets, and kings who were all anointed. And they were anointed, the anointing was to set them aside as people who would be doing God's work. And so in our faith journey, in our faith tradition, oil becomes a key symbol as well. We have three types of oils: the oil of the chrism, the oil of the sick, and the oil of the catechumens. These oils are actually blessed and consecrated by the bishop at Chrism Mass, which typically and traditionally is held on the morning of Holy Thursday during Holy Week. And then they are distributed to all the parishes to be used for the remainder of the year. The oil of chrism, for example, is used to set people aside for service. It's used for baptism, confirmation, and ordination, setting these people aside for service of the Lord. The oil of the sick, obviously, is used for those who are in need of God's healing touch. In the past, they used to be only associated with people who were dying, but the sacrament has been renewed and been reconnected with the early intent of the sacrament, and is now being called the anointing of the sick, which can be administered at any time that a person is in need of God's healing touch in the community's prayer for healing. And finally, we have the oil of the catechumens. The oil of the catechumens is used on the ritual journey of a person who is on a journey to be baptized, used at various ritual occasions during the catechumenate journey. These oils are rich in our tradition and continue to carry rich symbolism. The oil of chrism especially is the one that I'd like to just say just a little bit more about, because it sets people, this is the oil that sets people apart for God's service. In the past, we usually used to associate that primarily with ordination. But with the Second Vatican Council, the shift has occurred in which all who are baptized are anointed with the oil of chrism, and all who are baptized are set aside to do the Lord's work, namely to minister to one another and to all of God's people. So ministry is not just for the ordained. Ministry is for all those who are baptized, called to follow and commit themselves to Jesus and to follow his path, which is a path of care, concern, and love for others. So I hope this was a brief introduction to the way oil is used in our faith tradition, especially in our baptismal and Easter tradition, to communicate essentially all signs of God's care, love, and concern for all of us. So I hope this was informative for you and helpful in understanding the symbol of oil, and I hope you will return again to more Do You Know series as we continue to explore further symbols of the baptismal Easter season. Thank you.